Hello everyone and welcome to the next episode of Outside of Life, where I chat with inspiring artists 5 days a week. My name is Eva and my guest today is Sebastien Le Divenah, and we chat about his journey of becoming an art director in animation studio.
I had, of course, a lot more of people who influenced me, like, Daisuke Tsutsumi, the art director in Pixar. And, of course, I watch a lot of artists on the internet, like Goro Fujita, Tyson Murphy.
Sebastien is a French concept artist, illustrator, and art director, currently working at Supamong Studio and in the animation film industry. He has been fascinated by art since his childhood and attended 3 schools in Paris and Lyon to learn traditional art and animation to follow his dream. He is known for the series of humorous illustrations featuring vegetables, fruits, food, and other everyday objects in funny situations. So please welcome Sebastien Le Divenah and let's get to the interview. So I would like to know, did you always knew that you wanted to be an artist?
Hi, first of all. The first time I remember drawing, I was like 3 or 4, and I knew my grandmother said, "Hey, you draw a lot, or even for a kid, you draw a lot. That's cool." But it was crappy stuff, like I was drawing things from cartoons, from Disney movies and stuff. But with times when I entered college, I didn't stop drawing, so I was also drawing in class, which was not a really good thing. But I kept doing my stuff, and I think I want to work in this field because I love it. So I might as well go to an art school and stuff to be better at drawing. Because of course I was really, even if I drew a lot, I wasn't really good at that. So I just loved it. So I thought I might as well learn.
If you think about like the biggest decisions or turning points, like what you had to go through or you had to decide, in order to like follow your passion professionally.
I think it was a few small decisions that leads to where I am today, I guess. First, it was choosing my art school. So I had to choose one. Normally you do one art school, then you do your internship in a studio, and then you work as a concept artist and stuff. But me, I picked 3 different schools. I didn't really know what was good for me. So I had a first school that was a preparatory school. So I learned how to draw, how to create a portfolio and stuff. Then I went to another school in Lyon, when I learned traditional drawing, anatomy and stuff. And then I wasn't very fan about the philosophy of the school, so I left it back to Paris, and I went to Georges Méliès School. It's a school in Orly, a small town near Paris, and I did all my lessons there. I met a lot of future coworkers and friends and stuff, and it was really great. So I guess it's a few small decisions that leads me to then go to my first internship in a animation studio, and then have my experience going on.
And how did you find the first internship? Someone contacted you where you were a student?
Actually, it was during the summer. A friend was an intern in Studio 100. It's the name of the studio. And he had another opportunity, so he called me and he said, do you want to go there? So I went there. I showed my portfolio to the art director, and he seen it. He said, okay, can you do a test for me, please? So I was like, oh my God. It's an awful portfolio. I never had the internship and stuff, but I did the test at home, and I had to like paint a flower because it was for a nature TV show about forest, bees and stuff. And he actually liked it, so I started my first work experience there, and it was really cool. I learned a lot of things there.
Yeah. And when you were preparing the portfolio, was it like prepared already when you were in school, or was it adjusted to that company you were applying to?
I guess it wasn't adjusted enough because I used some old works I done during my period at school, but it wasn't really in the same mood. You know, I was doing some like short film for the school, and it was like a war stuff with motion design effects, and it was cool to work on this project, but it had nothing to do with flowers and nature, you know. So it didn't really match. That's why I think my art director said, okay, with that. So.
Yeah. And because now you work as an art director, right? And if you look at the portfolios, maybe people apply to the job. What are you looking for, like in the portfolio?
Actually, it depends. I'm in a studio that's called Supermonk Studio. I don't know if you heard of it.
Yes.
And there are many different projects. So sometimes the studio will need like a guy that does some realistic concept art. Sometimes you have to have someone that is more cartoony, have a more cartoony portfolio. So it depends on the project, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, it's about it. Yeah.
And so when you were still like deciding where to go for the school, do you remember the first conversation maybe when you told your parents that I want to take art like as a profession?
Actually, they always encouraged me when I said, okay, I think I want to work in animation, even if I didn't know where I will work in animation, if it was literally in animation, in 3D, in concept art. I didn't really know because I was not even a student in art school, and my friends were always supporting. So they're like, oh, okay, you want to change school? Oh, you're sure? Of course, that they ask question, their parents. It's normal. But I have family in Lyon, so it helped.
Yeah.
Like I could see my grandparents and stuff there, so it was kind of cool.
And was there someone who inspired you or mentor, along the way?
I have different guy or girls who inspired me. I learned some great stuff with an art teacher, an anatomy teacher, in my first preparatory school. He's called Fabien Rondet. He does. I think he lives in Bordeaux. He does some amazing stuff, like great traditional painting, and he really helped me with figure drawing and stuff like that. So I have another one who influenced me a lot. It was the art director of Studio 100 when I was back in my internship, and he taught me a lot of stuff with how to use my layers, how to use my brushes efficiently, and how to use color in a composition. So it looked nice at the end. So it was really really great learning from these guys. And I had, of course, a lot more of people who influenced me, like, Dice Tsutsumi, the art director in Pixar, who did like color scripts for Toy Story 3 and stuff. He taught at my school back in 2013, I think, and he spoke just for like 1 hour and a half, but he really, I don't know, he was really great explaining how he worked, how he uses colors and stuff. He was really inspiring. And of course, I watch a lot of artists on the internet, like Goro Fujita, Tyson Murphy, and guys like this.
Yeah. That's amazing because like now you can also like find so many people online, which you can inspire you, and even you can go for events where you can meet them in a real life or they teach in your school. So yeah, that's
And
really
even
cool.
sometimes they take 1 hour of their time and they do a quick tutorial on YouTube or even on Gumroad, and you can learn from them really efficiently. That's so cool.
Yeah. And when you think about like the best and worst advice along the way, can you share what you learned and maybe the
Okay.
takeaway from it?
Uh, Let me think about it. Uh, the best thing, the best advice, it might be like don't forget to take a break. Like don't do when you do something, do it with some short break because you have some new eyes on your work when you go back to your desk. So I guess it's the best advice I had because I always worked like when I started school. I just wanted to do one thing, and then I I when I stopped painting, I stopped painting, and it was really awful because when I looked back at it, I was like, oh, it's so lame. Um, so I had to learn to work on a step by step. And the worst advice, I don't know if it's a bad advice, but it's kind of weird advice. Like someone once told me, people will never respect you if you're not paid high enough.
Okay.
Okay. It's strange. Of course, everybody has to be paid and stuff, but I never felt like I had to win millions to do my work.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
kind of yeah, bad advice.
it's a little bit strange. Yeah, I don't know if it's bad. I guess some people think like that. So you have to be like that, but it's not really my way of seeing things. So it was a weird advice. I don't know. I had a few other not necessarily bad advice, but weird ones like others like. Every concept artist ever uses 3D nowadays. Like,
Okay.
not me.
That's
It's
okay.
not necessarily a good thing, but I should learn some ZBrush and some stuff. I learned a lot of Maya and softwares like that, but I don't always use it in my work. So it's kind of weird, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that
Yeah.
doesn't really touch 3D software. So
No.
I hope I'm not alone.
No, definitely not. I mean, it's really good to have the basic understanding. So if you work with
Yeah,
someone and they talk about it, that you know what they're talking about.
yeah,
But
that
you,
is really relevant. That's exactly what. That's a good advice. You
yeah,
have to learn 3D so you can understand others' work and you can understand. Uh, yeah,
yeah, but
how
not
it
you
works
know,
in 3D. You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
but not necessarily that you have to be able to create projects in it. It's just like, okay, this exists and this is how can it can be
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
So, and like your illustrations and all of the creations are like so fun and so engaging
Oh,
with the
thanks.
story. So how do you kind of think about the vision when you are creating the artworks?
Uh, Actually, for my personal work, I love to tell stories, even if
Hmm.
it's just one character. I like to share a little story with it. I don't really like when it's a still character. I want
Hmm.
him to have a nice posing, so you can understand who he is, even if it's
Hmm.
just a drawing, or maybe if it's a full illustration. I like to play with the colors and the frame to be a little bit more engaging.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's basically it, I guess.
yeah.
I like to work, as you may have seen. I like to work on like cartoon characters because it's really fun to mess around, like you do a big head or big arms or stuff like that, or crazy posing, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah. So the story is what you create with the vegetable and these like fruit and
Ah,
vegetable series. Where did that come from?
I uh, it was a project I had in mind for like a small, I don't know, small TV show or something. I just want to have this little character messing around and like having their own identity, even if it's just like little peas or little tomatoes and stuff like that. I like the fact that they can be expressive even if it's just just vegetables.
Yeah, and you have also a lot of illustrations with like small boys and like exploring the world. Were you also a curious child?
uh, I guess it's more fun when it's a little boy or a little girl or a child discovering the world around him, because he's always surprised, or he's never he's never seen something in the nature or stuff. I know when I was a kid, I could be amazed by just a nice tree or some bugs or stuff like that. That nowadays, now that I'm an adult, it's not surprising anymore. I mean, it's a bug, it's an insect, it's a tree. Okay. So I think it's more fun when you see a child discovering stuff.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense because I was just thinking about the illustration with the big octopus and the boy fishing.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I think I don't really know how he did that. How if it's the result of his fishing, but I just like the fact that you can tell your own story in your head. Like, I just give you the result and you got your own interpretation. Like, he's just got a little net or something and he's like with a 5 meters high octopus, so you don't really know what's going on here. I just thought it was fun.
Yeah, it is. It's really funny. I think that's my favorite.
Oh, thanks a lot.
And so when we are talking about the inspirations and the stories, what is maybe the weirdest inspiration would you have, or maybe other people can think it's weird?
I don't really know. I know I have like some dumb teenagers flashback moments when I want to watch like an action movie or like or read some some comics with some crappy humor in it, like poop jokes and stuff, and I just clears my mind, so I can I don't know find some more focus on my work after that. I think for me it's important to watch like even if it's dumb films. Or not dumb films. I don't know. Just for me, they're kind of like gun stuff and monsters and zombies. It's like great for my mind. I don't know why. So I don't think it's weird. I don't think anyone who really reads will think it's weird. I hope. I think that's where I go to clear my mind. You see.
Yeah, and so if you think about if someone wants to do what you do now, what would you advise them to start with? Maybe also some mediums or tools?
I think it's really important to start with traditional drawing. Just take some kind of paper and a pen and start drawing. Because I know when I started with the graphic tablets with Photoshop and stuff, I was really lost. Plus, I had to still work on my skills. So I think when you're really new at, but you really want to draw, I think it's my opinion. It's better to start with just a notebook and a pen and like don't know. If you don't have any idea what to draw, watch a movie, stop at one frame you like and go start drawing it, or maybe go in the cafe on the subway and draw everything in it, people, cups. Okay, I think you can start there.
Yeah. I mean, that's really good advice also with the cafe and subway that you can practice to draw from real life. And do you have a favorite notebook and favorite pencil?
Pen, I use any pen I have, like pencil, pen, markers. It's really just for me, I don't really show my notebooks or my drawings. So and I use Moleskine notebooks because I like the way it is. It's not heavy. It's the right size for me, and I like the way I like the paper. So, but you can. It's like you can find some cheaper stuff. It's not really expensive, but when you start, maybe you want to have just a basic notebook.
Yeah. That makes sense. And how do you go about the day? Because you have a full-time job, I assume, and then you work also on your private drawings. So how do you design your week, maybe, or day?
So it depends. Sometimes I have a lot of work at the studio, so I go every day of the week to the studio. And basically, I live in Tours and I work in Paris. So I have like 1 hour train trip to Paris. So in the morning, basically, I wake up, I go to the train station, then I go back to sleep then I wake up again for the second time of the day, and then I'm at work and I do my stuff. Strangely, I don't take a lot of breaks, only one for lunch. And then I go back home and I do my if I have time, I do my personal work, or I spend time with my girlfriend, and or I have a drink with some friends, and it really depends. And sometimes I work on my personal stuff during the weekend, and I don't share it on the internet right now because, like I said earlier, I want to have a second look on what I do before I post it.
Yeah.
So basically that's it. That's my way of life. That's oh no.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. That's the way I do. That's my week. Yeah. That's my day.
Yeah. And do you plan ahead, like in a week in advance, or do you do something daily, some daily habits, like yoga, sport, nature, or something?
Oh my God, I should, but I do not. I love to play music when I have time. I like to play piano or guitar just to think about something else to clear my mind.
Yeah.
When I don't want to watch crappy movies, I play a little bit of music, or I hang out with my friends. That's my my break time, I guess.
Yeah. So it kind of helps the creativity as well.
It really helps to think about something else and just enjoy your evening, or enjoy your time with your friends. And then when you go back to work, it's like you're like fresh. You go you're in a fresh start.
Yes.
So
yeah.
It's important.
And now when you're working on different projects as well, like, is there something like exciting coming which you would like to share?
I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about professional work, so I won't.
Okay.
I think there's good stuff going on in the future, and for my personal project, I have some projects in my head, like maybe do a little short film, or maybe draw a child book. I had an idea a few weeks ago, so a few months ago I was thinking about it, and maybe it will be out someday. I don't really know, but I have this in the back of my mind.
And do you want to have like maybe one story going through, or something like a theme, like you have, the vegetable series, or have you thought about the how do you put it together?
I'll see about that. I thought maybe about starting with a child book with the vegetables and stuff, but maybe I'll wait a little because I had another idea in mind. So just one story. To start with, because I never done it basically, so I prefer not starting with big stuff with a lot of stories and stuff. I prefer to start with just one story that could be enjoyable, and we'll see about what's going on.
And have you thought that it will be maybe through Kickstarter, or you want to publish it online, or hard
Mm,
copy, or?
I I don't really know. I know a lot of artists goes to through Kickstarter, and it could be really helpful. But I see how it works in how I can manage to print stuff without spending too much money. So
Mm-hmm,
yeah, maybe it can be helpful to go through this kind of medium.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think about it.
Yeah. And so now when you work in the studio and also you work on your personal projects, the main income is from the studio, or do you also have like combined income streams?
No, basically it's my work for Super Monks that keeps me living. It's my main income. Sometimes a few months ago I did some freelance work, so I might do it again if I can combine it with the schedule of my work as Super Monks. So I I don't really know, but now
Yeah.
for now it's my main activity.
Yeah, and so when you look for a new maybe freelance jobs or like paid projects, maybe for the future, do you look online or do you network with people? Do you go for events or what do you recommend for young people?
Um, when I started, I didn't start working at Supermonks. I started at different studio, and
Mm-hmm,
there were some times when I didn't work at all. So I was looking for work,
mm-hmm,
and what I did was sometimes have a list of the studio that can interest me in the area. So back in when I was in Paris, I was looking for a studio around Paris, and
mm-hmm.
I sent some emails. I sent some forms to subscribe to subscribe to the studio list.
Yeah.
Time I just called them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and basically that's how I did it. But I don't know if there is a right way. There are also some events where you can meet people. For example, there is every year the Annecy Festival
Yeah.
of animation, and you can have a time when you can like for one day you can go with your portfolio and meet some recruiting guys from studios like MacGuff or Ubisoft and a smaller studio.
Mm-hmm.
So you have different way of doing it.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite or festivals you would recommend except Annecy in France? Because French art scene is quite big, and maybe a lot of people don't know which are out of France. You know.
Okay, so I don't really know a lot of festivals. I know every year in January there is the biggest comics festival in
Mm-hmm.
Angoulême,
Mm-hmm.
Festival of Angoulême. But I think it's famous. It's kind of famous even out of France. I assume. So I don't really know. It depends on what you're looking for, I guess.
Yeah.
So a lot of or events, even only 3D events for 3D artists and
Mm.
stuff. I don't remember the names, but there were a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, we can put it in the show notes if you remember later on. That you can, send me email and we can put it in the notes for people to check it out with a link. When you were deciding, what was your kind of the self-talk when you need to decide yes and no for some project?
I think when you do this kind of stuff, you have to have a lot of you have to do a step back to have like a whole point of view
Mm-hmm.
of the project. If I feel that something it's not right for the project, I said it like the shape is not right because the character might not be able to take that kind of stuff, or he might be too big for it. I don't just say yes or no. I try to explain why.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you have to see the whole project to take some decision like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And with so many projects and you are really busy also with traveling, how do you keep yourself motivated?
Oh, Well, there is a great, how could I put it? At Supermonk Studio, there are a lot of great people, and it's really fun working there. That like music all day long, and it's really nice. So even if I do like a 2-hour trip to go to work, it's really enjoyable. So I think that's what keeps me motivated inside the studio. And when I'm tired or when I have a hard day, I know I can go back home and see my friend or my girlfriend and just spend a little time thinking about something else. Again, it's important to take a break, and I think it's key. You have to work a lot in this field, but you really need some spare time, I think.
Yeah. Is there a tool or something you bought, service or product which simplifies your life?
Just one. I use Photoshop, so I bought the whole cloud stuff like Photoshop CC. But what really helped me, it's really small thing. It's Lazy Nezumi. It's a plugin that's called Lazy Nezumi.
Ah, okay. I haven't heard about it.
It's for dumb artists like me who don't really know how to do a clean line when you have to do a cleanup really, really fast when you have like 2 days to do nice work and stuff. It helps you clean your lines basically.
That's cool.
That's cool, but that's like a lot of cheating. So I don't use it for like personal work because I want to improve myself. So it's a tool that really helped me for my work at the studio, basically. But it's really he saved me a lot of time.
So maybe it's like when you are really crunched, and you have the deadlines and you really need to finish something, that's really helpful. But when you are learning, then maybe, block yourself.
But I think some professional artists also use it because you can customize the way the line is and you can have some nice effects. But I didn't really go through this process, so it's not necessarily for me. But I think for comic artists, it's even if for the personal work, it's really efficient, and I think it's okay to use it if you already know how to clean up your work.
Yeah.
How to do your lines and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. I need to check it out for sure.
Yeah, it's like $30, and you have like you can use it a lifetime, and I think you have updates every week for 2 years for free, and then you have to pay extra for other updates. But I just bought it, and sometimes there are sales, so you can have it for like $15. It's really not that expensive.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. And the tablet, what you are using, it's like Intuos, or do you use Cintiq, or what do you use?
I had an Intuos that I shared to a friend, and I forgot to take it back. So I also use an old bamboo tablet, but like it's this size. It's really practical. You just have to put it in your bag, and you can go work with that everywhere you go. But I recently bought a Cintiq Companion, so it's really, really cool for when I'm in the train and I want to. I know I will have something to draw or to paint, and it's really helpful.
Yeah, because I was wondering if you are drawing sometimes in a train because you travel a lot, but when you said you are sleeping,
in the morning I'm sleeping most of the time, like 95% of the time I'm going to sleep, and sometimes I just want to draw, so I pick up my companion and I start drawing at 7 a.m. I don't really mind, but it's for the trip for the evening. I sometimes I take my Cintiq and I walk in the train in the evening.
Yeah. And so if you start drawing on the train, and can you finish the drawing within that 1 hour?
When I do some quick sketch sketch, I don't mind doing it in 30 minutes or 1 hour, because I have some really rough way of working. Sometimes I'm not really clean and I don't really mind. But it happened that sometimes I have to finish it at home. So that's what's cool about the Cintiq, the Companion. You can draw basically everywhere you want, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. I need to check it out because I have the classic one, you know, the big one at home, and that you cannot take with you.
Okay. Yeah, it's like the 24 inches or stuff like that.
And it's almost like 40 kilos. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. You have to that can be a sport activity, like bringing your Cintiq to work. But
I don't know if I can lift it by myself. I don't think so. But and if you think about like these tools and maybe books and movies, you mentioned some movies. What are your maybe favorite movies or something you would recommend to someone, or books?
Like I think the common good movies or the crappy ones, because I have favorites in both ways.
Something you would recommend to people, either as inspiration or something they have to see.
Maybe. I'm a great fan of cinema and films and stuff, so I love the way Citizen Kane is made, because it have a lot of stuff in it, like new ideas for framing. Back in the days, you couldn't do anything you want with framing, and I don't know, Orson Welles find some great solutions, and it's interesting to understand how it's made and how the actors do the job. And I think the whole idea was really I really like this movie.
Yeah.
You know, it was really not really inspiring for my drawings or for my work, but I think it was like a great story, a great movie, even if it's a kind of naturalist or realist movie. There are no science fiction, no aliens. It's really classical, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and what about the book?
And about the book, I could recommend a book that I really loved. It's in French, it's Au bonheur des ogres. I could translate it like I find a translation on internet. It's like Ogre Paradise. It's a French title. It's by Daniel Pennac. It's a story in like. The first book is called Ogre Paradise, but there are like 3 or 4 stories with the same characters, and it's a great book because it's like dark humor and a little bit adventurous, like an investigation in the Paris of the 90s, and it's really fun to read. It's sometimes crazy absurd, and sometimes it's really, I don't know, thrilling. There was like a great cliffhanger, not a cliffhanger, but great stuff at the end of the book. Of course, I won't spoil it if you want to read it, but it's really really cool to read. I'm not a great reader. Like it's a book like a 300 pages book.
Okay.
It's like too much for me normally, but I really enjoyed it. So that means a lot, I guess.
Yeah, and do you have a favorite quote, maybe something from a book or from a movie, something you would put on the sketchbook?
On the sketchbook? No, on the sketchbook, I think I will put like, "Fly, you fools! Don't touch it! Don't open it, please!" Because I stupid things, so I prefer to keep it for myself. And no, I don't really have an inspiring quote. I have to work on that. Everybody have to have a quote in his life. But I guess the Gandalf one is a good one.
Good.
Because I really enjoy a lot of drawing, so I'm a really big fan.
So if you think about the art career now, what you have, is there something you wish you knew before you started?
Yeah, but don't take everything people say for granted. I mean, I had the greatest advice thanks to some great teachers, some great coworkers, but when you don't really know how it works in the industry, you can take every information for good information. But I don't know. Sometimes some guys have their own vision of how it is, and I'm not sure you should listen to everything people say. Like maybe you shouldn't even listen what I'm saying. I don't know. Maybe it's a bad advice, but I think if someone told me that, I maybe would have made some better decision with how I learned stuff. So sometimes some teachers told me that 2D art is not, you will never find a job in that and stuff. So keep learning 3D. It's better to learn 3D. And I was like, it's really not my thing. I like to see stuff in 3D, and I like to use it when I need it, but I don't want it to be the whole part of my work. So,
and if you imagine yourself in 5 years, where would you be? Something like a dream scenario.
A dream scenario. Okay. I guess I will. I don't know. I will have my own studio, and I will direct my own movies, or my own, even direct my own video games. I'm a really big fan of video games, and I might be interested in the future to work on some game design and stuff. I'm really interested in this part of the industry too.
So what is your favorite video game? Or few?
A few, because I play too much games. So I think Dark Souls will be one of them. The first one. It was horrible game, but it was the best gaming experience I had. I almost broke my computer by rage quitting every 30 minutes, but it was kind of cool. Now, what did I like? I really enjoyed playing Hearthstone with some friends. I stopped playing for a few like 2 years ago, but I know I really enjoyed it back in the day. And of course there are old games like Doom and stuff, old stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of a nerd about it, but
even the Doom I actually played.
The first one. Yes. With the 3 pixel on the screen. I don't know why I played it. It was I was like 8 when I played it, and it was considered really violent back in the day, but I didn't see that when I played it. I was a little bit afraid, but I had a lot of fun playing it. So
that's good. And maybe then I would like to end with a question about the future. You know, if you would imagine yourself how would you like to be remembered in 100 years?
I'm not sure I want to be remembered in 100 years. I don't know, but maybe if someday I do some games or some movies or even some short films, I would be glad if in 100 there's some dude that keep watching it. That would be kind of cool. But myself, I don't really mind about that.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to see some of your movies in the future in Annecy. I would go again.
Oh, come on. I don't know what it will be. We'll see about that.
yeah, but you know.
Thanks a lot. That's encouraging.
But thank you again for joining us here and taking the time from your busy schedule.
No, it was great speaking with you. It was very nice.
So thank you so much again, and thank you everyone for joining. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and let me know in comments. Also, please subscribe to my channel for more videos, because I post new interview every single workday. You can also find the resources mentioned in this episode at artsideoflife.com. Just type a guest name in the search bar. There is also a little freebie waiting for you, so go check it out. If you want to listen to the interviews on the go, make sure to check out the podcast episodes at artsideoflife.com/podcast. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and don't forget to inspire each other. I will see you guys in the next episode.